As a parent, it can be challenging to keep track of all the different activities, appointments, and tasks that come with raising a family. Between school, extracurricular activities, and daily household responsibilities, it can feel like you're constantly running behind. But with the right tools and techniques, you can take control of your schedule and make sure everything gets done and still make time for a little fun. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you how I use my planner for family planning and for organizing my parenting tasks. So there's a variety of ways you can use your planner to help with parenting and family planning, and these are just a few suggestions that have worked for me. So as always, the first thing is to use a planner. I say as always because I'm always talking about this planner and how much it has helped me. So I do feel like it's an essential part of family planning to be able to stay on top of all of the tasks. And to be honest, most things that I'm going to mention today revolve around this planner. So number one, you want to use a calendar. And that's going to help you to keep track of important dates like doctor's appointments, school events, and any extracurricular activities, among other things. So I thought I would show you kind of how that looks for me. I do have a full section here that is dedicated to schooling, and so I dump a lot of things in there. I also have a school to-do list that I write here. It is the beginning of February, so I'm working on planning out this page here. This is called the monthly tasks layout. So you literally have the month here, and then you have your main dashboard page, and then you have this page here, which is what I use to break down each day if needed. Okay, so again, we need this calendar in our life. So for me, it starts with my monthly. On my monthly, I'm going to write in all of the things that need to be done, whether it be for our household in terms of just day-to-day activities, recurring activities, and then I also put any extracurricular activities here as well, so that way I know what I need to get done. Okay, so it starts at the calendar for me. So I have a couple of different things that I do in terms of my calendar. So first and foremost, my planner calendar, of course, is my baby. This is my rock. I need it in my life. And then I also have a refrigerator calendar. And basically what the refrigerator calendar serves as is a reminder for the family, because we all have to be on the same page. If we're not on the same page, then we can't function as well as we need to function as a unit, okay? So that refrigerator calendar has all of our appointments. It pretty much looks exactly like this. So with the exception of things that personally I know I need to do, but family related activities, all of that's going to go on the refrigerator calendar. And so each and every day of the week, the family can go and look on the calendar and they can see what we're doing for that particular day so that we all again stay on the same page. So between that calendar, this calendar, and then I also do put things on my phone, and typically the things that I put on my phone are things that I don't want to forget about, and typically that's going to be a Saturday event. So if we're going out with friends or anything like that, an outing, something that we're doing with the kids, any extracurricular activities that are recurring, I put all of that on my calendar here as well, and that is what really helps me to be able to stay on track again of all of the tasks. And sometimes I need a reminder, and so because I'm putting it here, it'll help me to get that reminder. But again, I also put it here as well. So for instance, Addison does magnesium every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's her math tutoring. So as you can see, I have that there. And then I also have it on my calendar. Well, I will have it eventually. I haven't, well, actually I have written some of them there, but I need to go ahead and write in all the days that she's doing it on this calendar as well, because we do recurring days. So she always goes Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I hope I didn't say Friday. And so again, I keep it on here so I don't forget. It gives me a reminder. It's going to pop up on my phone saying, you know, this is what you got to do at this time. And then I have it here. So when I'm checking in with my planner, I can also see it here and I can stay on track with that. And then again, it's on my refrigerator calendar. So that way I can see it there as well. I figure 3 times a charm, right? So as long as I have it in all of those locations, we can stay on track as a family and we can make sure we're getting done all of those things that we need to do for the kids. Again, whether it be extracurricular activities, any doctor's appointments, or any school events. So even though I have this full school section here, I transfer all of that stuff onto this as well. So that way I can see it at those 3 points, okay? So calendars are very essential to be able to keep on track with all of those things. Now, of course, as always, I recommend having a paper planner, but if you are just a digital person, you can just do your phone as well. Because again, this is a calendar. So if you just feel like this is too overwhelming for you to keep track of, then just do it on your phone and set a reminder for yourself so that you don't forget those things. And you are going to have it all together. It's nothing like forgetting an event for the kids or something that they're supposed to be doing. I don't know, for me, it just makes me feel so horrible and like I'm not doing a good job. Although we know we are all doing the best that we can as parents, I like to be that mom that, has it all together. It makes me feel good. And again, I don't want to miss out on those things that the kids need to do, whether, again, it be any of those things that I mentioned before. So calendars. I can't speak highly enough for having one and being able to track wherever you see fit, whatever layout you have, track it on that layout wherever you feel like is going to work best for you. I like to keep things right here. So for this month in particular, there aren't as many things that we need to do school-wise. I do have my at-a-glance pages here that help me to recall what all of those things are, because I do, at the beginning of each school year, I write every single thing out in terms of extracurricular activity, school function, doctor's appointments, anything related to the kids or myself. I'm writing it all out here. So for instance, we're in February. There are a couple of things that I could technically write here that are already on the monthly calendar. But again, I do also break it down here. And so that way I don't forget. And it just depends on what it is. So like for instance, they do have a student holiday here. I don't need to write that here because I already have it on my monthly. This is typically for any school functions that I want to make sure I don't forget about. Also, there's a digital learning day here. So I do want to write that. And so that way I don't forget about that. So DLD day. Okay, so it's just mainly important things here that I want to make sure that I'm not forgetting about. And again, we do have that stuff in the school section as well, but this is for life in general. So it's for everything kids related in this particular section. But mainly when it comes to going out and doing things, she's doing something at school. And then also her tennis. And then she also does math tutoring as well. So all of that's going to be here in my planner somewhere. So that way I can make sure, again, I stay on top of all of those things. And then on the 28th, they have a book fair. So I want to write that as well. So I could get to the school. Typically, I volunteer. And that way I can be there with her. And again, I look like I got it all together. Because sometimes I don't, if I'm honest. And so the more I write in here, the better off I am in terms of recalling all those things. So that is number one, you guys. Use your calendar. Digital calendar, paper planner calendar, fridge calendar, one of them, all of the three. Do what works for you. Number two is to use a to-do list. I told you this is going to revolve mainly around using my planner because this is what helps me to have it all together. You guys sometimes ask, well, how do you do it all? I don't do it all, first and foremost. But because I have this paper planner, it may appear like I do, but I have hot mess days just like everybody else. But if I don't have this sort of system here, then my life is going to fall apart. And so I have a to-do list. So this is my to-do checklist right here. So this is where I write all of the things, and typically that comes from my inbox. So I'll see what I need to do here, and then I'll dump it out here. And then also, again, anything I need to do for the kids, like I have to get Addison's passport, okay? And then I check things off as I go. And then also, if I need to schedule a doctor's appointment here, if I need to pay something for an extracurricular activity the kids are in, that's gonna go here. If I need to email the teacher for whatever reason, that's gonna go here. If I need to do something for a PTA meeting, all of the things related to the kids' lives in terms of random to-do list things that aren't calendar events are going to go here in this section for me. So develop a to-do list system for yourself, whether it's something like this or just a sheet that you plug in here or a sticky note, whatever that is for you. Make that happen, okay? You can also use the Notes app or Reminders app on your phone if you have an iPhone. Sometimes if it's something I really want to make sure that I don't forget about, I'll go into the Reminders app and I'll set up a reminder here so that way it will alert me to do something so I don't forget. And I also have everything kind of sectioned off. So if you can see there, I've got school, family, and business. Let me make sure that you're in focus, you guys, because sometimes I have to lock the settings on this camera so that way it doesn't It's not all over the place. So if you see there, we've got a couple of different sections: school, family, business. So that way when I set reminders, it'll give me a little number in terms of how many reminders are there. And then it's categorized. I'm just a person that works that way in categories. And so by having it organized, it just helps me. Then I have it as for us as a family. Then I have it, of course, for business as well. So you just add a new reminder, and how that looks, if you've never seen it, I'm sure you have, is you put the title there, then you put a little note if needed, and then the details here, the date, time, location, what priority it is, and then also what list you want to put it on. So these are all of my lists once again. So this is very helpful for me. So if you want to do your to-do list kind of like this, in terms of just having a reminders there, you could also use the Notes app, of course, on your iPhone. And I have a couple of different notes in here with lists that have helped me over time. So I have a personal to-do list, as you can see there. I have a grocery list, different lists in here that have really helped me to be able to track things on the go, because I don't always have my planner with me. So many different ways that you can do that in terms of having a to-do list, but you're going to use your to-do list to keep track of the tasks that need to be completed, like, of course, grocery shopping, again, laundry, meal planning, all those things, because that's all family related, and we're trying to figure out the best system for us to be able to do our family planning and make sure that we're staying organized with the parenting tasks that come along with having a family. Okay, so to-do list is very, very important. You could also keep a running to-do list, which I sometimes do. And so how that will look for me is it would just be an insert in here, and I just constantly add to that to-do list, and I check it off as I go along if it doesn't pertain to a specific month. But I know that these pertain to this particular month, so I need to make sure that I get them done in this month. Okay, remember I talked to you about your or my inbox system. So this is how my inbox system looks. I have some prompts here that will help me to recall things that I should be adding to my to-do list or my inbox here. This is a running to-do list for me. So I just add them here as I think of them, and then I take them from here and I transfer them onto my either at a glance pages, depending on if they have a date tied to them, or I put them on my monthly calendar if they don't, in the notes section here. And then I will pick whatever needs to be done for a specific week. Although this is a dashboard page, it's not really for a particular week. But if I need to drill down to the week, we come here and I would write those tasks here. So that's just a system that works well for me. So whether it be on your phone, via the Reminders app, or via the Notes app, or whatever other app that you can find, or in your planner, kind of similar to a system like this, or just a sheet of fill paper, or just a notebook that you can kind of carry around with you and continually add to it as needed. Develop some sort of to-do list system, and that is going to help you to stay on track with all of the tasks that you need to do for your family. The next thing that you can do is to use a journal to record milestones and memories for your children. So I do think that that is important. Now, I don't necessarily use a journal. I have a different system that I use to keep track of the memories. I don't typically do any sort of memory planning or anything like that. What I do is if I have a specific spread in my week that I've added a photo to, or that I wrote something sentimental in, then I will pull those pages out and I'll keep them. And I have a separate planner that I keep them in. And then in terms of keepsakes, photos, things like that the kids bring home from school, and really it's just one kid for me because Addison is a school age kid, my son has graduated, so it's just her. But I put them in a little system over here that I have on my shelf, and it's like a file system. So I have everything organized by grade, and what I do is tuck in those important documents depending on the grade that she's in. And so that way I have a little keepsake for her, a little memento from the years that I want to keep. I don't keep everything, but I do keep only those things that speak to her. And then if it doesn't speak to her and it speaks to me, I'll keep that as well. So develop a system of keeping those memorable things close to your heart. And I definitely think that everyone should have some sort of system for that. And also any important information. And also any important information and documents. So I keep all of that in their little keepsake organization bins as well. So I have one for each kid, and I just tuck in there artwork, any, paperwork, medical things, anything like that is going to go inside of that keepsake box by the grade and the stage that the child is at, that my kids are at. So develop whatever system works for you. And then also, if you want to do a little memory planning as well, that will help you to be creative and then also just be able to keep track of those milestones from your kids. So yeah, I would definitely add that to your planner as well. Either a section here, have a section for memory planning, or have a completely separate notebook or a planner for memory keeping. All right, so number 4 is to use a budget planner to track your expenses related to parenting and family, like childcare, education, any extracurricular activities. And so how that looks for me is I typically use a calendar system like this. We do also have inserts in our shop that are designed for financial wellness. So I decided to add this for the month of February. So I'm going to be using this financial wellness workbook, and that has a lot of different things in here that could help you to track all of the things financial related and to be able to stay on track with those things. So you've got a calendar here where you could put all of your bills. You have bill pay trackers, so you could track your payment, you could track your paychecks, excuse me, and then you could track all of the other things that you need to track. Expense trackers, budget trackers, all of that is included. This is the next month, so I have a couple of different months in here. This is going to help me so much to be able to just have a different look, you know, because I've been typically doing this, and then on the back hand side I'll write all my credit cards and the payments for that. And this has been helping me, but I think I might need a little bit more. So I need to come in and write all of my bills. And this is just dependent on, you know, mainly my credit card bills and then any other thing that needs to come out on a monthly basis. Now, mine is a little bit different because this is typically for just my finances for At Home with Keita. It's not our family finances. We do that via a separate system. And so whatever way works for you, whether it be paper planning or whether it be doing something mobile wise on via an app or some sort of, you know, system like that's online, either way, whatever works for you, but you're going to have some way to track the extracurricular activity payments, which can get expensive depending on how many things your child is in. Addison is in tennis and she does math tutoring. She decided to come out of gymnastics and she was doing ballet at some point. She's been doing all different types of things, but she changes her mind depending on how the wind blows. Okay, so all she's doing right now is tennis. We don't know how long she's going to do that. So we want to be able to track when that payment needs to be paid. So I tend to need lots of reminders sometimes when it comes to making those payments. So I do have a reminder on my phone that helps me to remember when I need to pay her tennis academy. So that way I get a reminder, I don't forget. And of course, we're talking about keeping everything all together and parenting like a pro. So this is Adulting 101. You need to pay your bills. And so this has been really helpful for me. And sometimes what I'll also do, in addition to this, which again, we're just at the beginning of February, so I'm working on planning all of this. So don't get sidetracked by the blank page. Again, we did do our backside with all of those payments and such. I just need to transfer all of the payments here and then any other thing that transferred here as well, just so I can see when it's coming out. And again, I do keep it here. I have to keep it here too for certain things, not for everything. And then sometimes I'll also write it on my calendar. And I was really doing that more so when I had a different layout, because that layout was more helpful for this type of tracking. But I would also put it here. So like for instance, on the 13th, I would put to pay tennis. Okay, you could even put the dollar amount if you want to. You can highlight it if you need to, so that way it stands out to you and you know that that's something that you need to do. Okay, and so I used to track all of my bills here as well, but I felt like it was redundant to put them all here. So sometimes it's just the important, not that those aren't important, because those are very important. And I have a lot of those, or some of those have recurring payments, so I don't necessarily have to write them on the calendar, but like things that I know I'm going to forget about, because her tennis academy doesn't have a good system. And so I have to remember to pay it. They're not going to, I can't go into the back end. It's paid via like an app like Zelle or something like that. So I have to remind myself to pay that. So I try to only keep those important ones that stand out in terms of knowing that I may forget between here and on my phone. Okay, so use a digital system, use a calendar, use a budget planner, whatever works for you but you need to be able to track all of those things that need to be paid on a regular basis. Anything education-wise, any events that are coming up at the school or wherever. Like we've got some things coming up, like a play. There's a play at her school, and I know there's going to be a cost involved. So I want to make sure I track that on my calendar as well. And in my budget planner, if need be, you probably want to track it there as well, if you know for sure that you're going. And then make sure that you just remember to, take out cash if needed, and just try to keep up with all of the payments that need to be paid related to your kids and your life, because we are also talking just life in general. So this is not only pertaining to parenting tasks, but we are focusing on that, of course, family and planning, but budgeting is a family thing, so whatever budgeting system works for you, make sure that you are budgeting for all of those things. And then also budget for fun things. There's a concert coming up for Addison. She's going to see her friend, or not her friend, she wanted to be her friend, but she's going to see Lele, who she loves, and that my husband's going to do a daddy-daughter thing. And so they are going to that on the 19th. There's a cost involved in that. So I want to make sure that I'm tracking that in my finances so I can make sure that we can afford it, of course, and I can, I'm just in tune with financially all of the things that we have going on. So any fun activities, any things you guys are going to go do, make sure that you are keeping track of the expenses involved in that as well. Okay, the next one is one of my favorite things because it just really helps me so much. And I typically would put that here because that's just what works for me. Sometimes I'll put a quote there as well, but I typically put a tracker there. So I'm going to show you how that will look for me because I love habit trackers. So you can use a full page insert. We have tons of things from Fancy Plans Co, by the way, if you're looking for something to use to track those habits. And so how I would typically track that is, first and foremost, Addison has math tutoring on these days, which are highlighted with the triangle here. So I need to write mathnasium because that's the place that she goes to. Okay, so I know exactly the dates that she's going. She goes at 4:30 every single day. And so I don't forget, because we have been known to forget for a time or two, especially if I don't have it planned out. And so we know, all of the days that she's going to mathnasium for the entire month of February. And I would typically write the date in here so that way I know, what the date is. Okay, so that's kind of how that would look. All right. And y'all, how did I just get off on those dates? Wednesday is the 1st, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Saturday, Sunday. Then Monday's the 6th. Okay, 7th, 8th, 9th, Friday. Okay, perfect. I'm on track. All right, so that's kind of how I would do that in terms of mathnasium. You could track anything here. This could be for whatever extracurricular activities or outings or things like that you have going on. I love keeping it here because it's right in front of me and I know I won't forget. Okay, and then I'll show you my main system of tracking habits. And I guess this technically isn't a habit tracker, but I kind of use it as a habit tracker. But I guess you kind of consider that just a calendar of events, which again, I have all these dates on my regular calendar as well. Okay, so here are 3 different tracker systems that I use. This has been what I've been feeling right now, what I've been using right now mostly. But I do love these, and I keep some of these in my planner. This is a notepad. I just pulled it off the notepad. Then I love these as well because you can color code them. And this looks really pretty when you have it all filled in. So I'll make sure to link everything below in terms of these. So that way, if you're looking for a habit tracker, you'll be able to find what we have available. So I'm going to show you this because again, I typically put this here down at the bottom. So I'll pull off one of these sheets and then I place it right here at the bottom so I can see it. I need to be able to see it. And that's where it lives. Okay, right there at the bottom. All right, and so these are the habits that I am working with on a weekly basis. All right, so I wrote habits here just so I can see it. All right, and it has a bunch of different slots for you to write the habits in, and then all the days of the week, and you can even put the week here, or you can just leave it general, but I like to check it off as I'm going along. And so this will be outdated the next week, but if you just want to use it as, just a template, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Okay, so daily text, which is just my daily Bible reading. Okay, and then my water intake, I like to have 8 per day. Vitamins, okay, and then also the kids' vitamins too, because we're talking about the family here. So all of these things should benefit everybody for the most part, okay? Because when I'm doing certain things also that involve both, you know, my husband and I'll remind him, like we both try to do our daily Bible reading on a daily basis. So I may say, hey, don't forget to do your Bible reading. You know what I mean? Don't forget to drink your water. Here's your vitamins. Don't forget to take your vitamins. You know what I mean? So this helps me to help everybody, okay? You know, as a mom, we take on a lot of responsibility. We wear lots of hats. And so we need to be able to help our family out as well to make sure they thrive also. Okay, working out, also reading for 20 minutes. Okay. And then making the bed. Again, you see that all these things help everybody else. And then also I'm encouraging the kids make their beds. This serves as kind of a reminder for me to remind myself to do it, but then also to make sure the kids are doing them well as well. And then also my skincare. If I feel good, they feel good because I'm going to be happy, okay? Laundry benefits everybody. At least one load, okay? That helps everybody because they have clean clothes. And then I like to make sure that I am laying out clothes for Addison, okay? And then lastly, I want to do my nightly reset. Okay, if you haven't seen that video on how I do my nightly reset, it's the video before this video, so check that out if you want to see exactly what I can do or what I do to have a nightly reset and how you can create your own nightly reset routine as well. So habits. I can't speak enough about habits. I love habits. It really helps in life. So use a habit tracker to help you create and maintain healthy habits for yourself and your family. Okay. So again, exercise, healthy eating, reading, vitamins, water, Bible study, whatever works for you, whatever habits you want to develop, write them in on your planner and make sure that as you're doing them, you're going to check them off. So when Monday comes, I'm going to check off Monday, Tuesday. The idea is to have all of these checked off. And then you know how well you're doing and you can always do better for the next week. So these have been so awesome and helping me to track all of my habits in addition to these other methods as well. If you're using this sort of method, we have 3x3 cards that you can tuck it in. And then also you can just pin it to your planner or use a little adhesive, stick it to your planner, use a little washi, whatever works for you. So I can't speak enough about habits, okay? So I'm going to write in the week that this is for also. So this is for 3 through 2. Not 2, 3. Why did I put that? It's actually for the 30th or the 31st of January. See, I'm going too fast. It's for the 30th of January. Okay. So I can change that to that, and then I can change that to a 1, right? Perfect. Okay. Up into 2/5. All right. So once this week is done, you'll move on to the next habit tracker. And again, for me, this is a dashboard page. So I would layer another one on top of this one because this is for the month. Okay. And this just helps me so much. Okay. So I'm looking forward to this week coming and checking off all the things. So that way I can, you know, everything is together and I can keep on track with all of the things that I want to be doing on a weekly basis. Okay. All right. So other habits that I make sure that I am doing is cleaning. So I want to make sure that I keep up with all of my cleaning because that is a habit, in my opinion, too. You want to keep the habit of cleaning. And so I do zone cleaning again. So I'll do a full video on my channel sharing with you guys exactly how I do that. But I outline all the zones here and what the tasks are associated with those zones. And then I have a daily cleaning schedule here as well. And that's where I put all of my daily cleaning. Okay, so this would be daily tasks. All right, and then I'll put like all of my daily tasks there as well. Okay, I do a nightly reset routine like I talked to you guys before, but I do have some things that I do in the morning on a daily basis to keep up with all of my cleaning as well. Okay, so that's how that would look for me. And so I'm gonna go in. I just don't want to take too much time in this video. And sometimes when I try to write all the things to show you guys how mine looks, then I end up taking an hour of your time, okay? But just know that that's where I keep track of them. And again, I'll do a full video on how I do zone cleaning. Okay, last habit that I want to make sure that I am doing is my spiritual stuff. Okay, so I keep all of that here. So every single day of the week, I have certain things that I do to keep up with my ministry and my spirituality. And so I put all of those things Monday through Sunday. And then also I want to make sure I'm reading the daily text every day. Remember, we have that here, daily Bible. And then also I like to write in my ministry days. And so I put all of that in this section here. And so that way I can see what those days are that I'm going out in the ministry, and then also the days that I am studying and what I'm studying for that day. Now, I don't keep that on my monthly calendar, only my ministry days, as you can see, Friday and Saturday. And I'm working on adding another day to that. And I think that's going to be Tuesday. And then anything that I need to study is going to go in this spot. I do have a Bible binder that I use for all of my studying, which we just released in the shop, and this is how it looks. It's gorgeous. I love it. So there's two different things here. I have the Bible study binder, which looks one way and has a certain inserts in it. And then we have a meeting notebook, which has certain inserts. So it's two different things. The Bible study binder is more general, and then the meeting workbook is more for my faith specifically, okay? So I have a table of contents here. This is new for me, so I'm working on filling all this in, and it's been such a pleasurable process in doing this. I typically do digital studying, but I found that writing it out for me is what works. I love that. And so I put all of the things here, which also are here on the monthly calendar in terms of, my ministry days, my meeting days, and then also any other, days that I feel like I need to, put here. Any CO visits, anything like that, anything, spiritual related is also here on this calendar and also here on this calendar. So I know it might seem redundant to you, but this is my faith binder. So I need to have those dates here that pertain to spiritual things here. In terms of my Bible study, this is what I do, my scripture a day. Okay, and this really gives me a good idea on how well I'm doing with that, because some days are missing, okay, but we're working on getting better at writing it. Sometimes I just read it and I forget to write it down, okay? And remember, we have that here as well. So we have our daily Bible. So we should have a check mark in each one of those boxes, okay? So this is what I'm currently using, and this is just what's been working so well for me to be able to stay on track with all of those things. And when it comes to my meeting prep, which is right here again, there's going to be all the things I'm doing on a weekly basis to be prepared for my meetings, is all in this workbook, the meeting workbook. So this is everything that we do on a weekly basis. This is one part of the meeting, and then we have 2 meetings a week. And then this is the other part of that meeting as well. So I have I'm covered, y'all. And then we have some other sections here if I want to go deeper, which I do. And so again, I'm working on filling all of this in. And this is just going to be so amazing for me to be able to reflect back on. And as this gets full and I need to remove pages, I have a whole nother planner that I pull the pages out, or they're actually some rings. And then I put all of those on rings to free up some space. All right, so that's how I do my personal study. I feel like being aware and conscious of my spiritual needs is always a plus, of course, and it helps me to feel good. I know that it's, something that it's a requirement for me, you know what I mean? And so when I'm happy and I'm spiritually fed, then I can help the family. And so this is an important part, or that is an important part, rather, my Bible study of this whole thing. So that's one of the most important things in my life. Okay, so habit tracking, again, is essential. Whether it be a sticky note, whether you use an app or your phone, whether you use a sticky note, a journaling card, a notepad, whatever that is for you, make sure that you are tracking all of your habits. If you have a faith-based routine, keep track of that. Your cleaning, kids' extracurricular activities, your personal habits, all of that is essential to be able to parent like a pro, okay, and be an adult, and to keep track of all the things that your family needs to be doing. And so remember, it's important to find a planner that works best for you. Again, this video mainly focused on my planner because this is how I keep track of it all, and this is how I parent like a pro, if there is a such thing as a pro parent, okay? And so whatever type of system works for you, again, some people prefer digital, and that's okay, and others prefer a physical planner like me. And you can also find many apps available to you that will help with your family planning as well. So again, this is all about what is going to be the most beneficial for you and your family, and I feel like I've gotten such a great system down, so I definitely wanted to share it with you guys in hopes that it would help you as well. So if you want to take control of your schedule and make sure everything gets done, it's essential for you, for any parent looking to organize their time more effectively, to have some sort of system in place. Again, for me, that's this baby right here. But again, do what works for you. So I hope that this video helped you in some way to figure out how you can keep it all together and how you can use your planner for family planning and organizing parenting tasks, which means you'll give me a thumbs up on this video. You will consider subscribing to my channel if you're new here. And y'all, post your comments below in terms of what has helped you to be able to keep all of your family and parenting tasks together. I'm sure everybody would love to hear from you. This is a community here on my page, so we all would love to get tips and tricks from each other on what has worked for you. So I hope you guys will come back and you'll join me for another video, in which case I'll see you guys then.